The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Hello, and this video is about the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion trial, in which Tory Lanez got found guilty for the shooting of Meg Thee Stallion and will be sentenced next year, 2023. Now, this is important because this is obviously a scripted event. It's not real, and this is one of the many agendas that they're trying to push. It's a black man against a black woman, and they're hitting two birds with one stone, because you got, on one hand, black women are upset because they feel like they're not being protected, and it kind of ties into the notion of black men don't protect black women and black men are trash, XYZ. And then on the man's side with Tory Lanez, it's a black man being done dirty by the system yet again, being mistreated by the system, being lied on. So they're hitting two birds with one stone. It's pretty obvious to see that they're just trying to cause division between the people, because when the people are not united and there's pure division, then any form of resurgence or any form of going against the system is unlikely to happen, because the people are divided. It's what they do. They like to divide the people, whether that be race, gender, religion, whatever kind of factions there are, or any kind of categories that split us up, they will cause a lot of division. And this is clear as day, one of many genders they are trying to push, the separation of the black man and black woman. But this is fake, this is scripted, and luckily men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't.
Yes, winning. You understand?
So I'm going to go straight in just to show that this is just another scripted event used to cause division. There's probably many other reasons, but one of the main is to cause division yet again within the black community. So going into the article, I've highlighted a couple key points that we will be breaking down. He has been found guilty and is due to face a sentence of more than 22 years in prison. It's worded very strange because it says could face a maximum sentence of more than 22 years. That doesn't make sense when you're talking about it from a grammatical point of view, but nevertheless, 22 years. They use precise numbers when they do these things, because LANEZ equals 22, Megan equals 22, Jovan equals 22, which is Megan's middle name, Ruth equals 22, which is one of Megan's other names. Her full name's Megan, Jovan, Ruth, Pete. 3 of her names equal 22, and LANEZ equals 22. Now, the LANEZ equaling 22 is important because if you notice in the article, they refer to Tory Lanez as LANEZ. As you can see, it says LANEZ, whose real name is Daystar Peterson. Then later on in the article, an argument between Megan and LANEZ. Now, it's funny because why are they using Megan's first name, Megan, which is her actual real first name, and then they're using Tory Lanez's last name of his stage name? It's either you use their first names of their real names or use their first names of their stage names. So either Megan and Daystar, or Megan because her stage name is and her real name is Megan, Megan and Tory. Why would you use Megan and then his last name LANEZ? That doesn't make sense. But from a numbers perspective, it does, because he's facing more than 22 years in prison, and both Megan and LANEZ equals 22 in their full reduction, and the reduction cipher is the purest cipher, so that's interesting. What's also interesting is that he was found guilty on 3 charges and is going to face more than 22 years. So in the numbers, that's 3 charges, 22 years, that's 322. And 322 is the numbers for the Skull and Bones Society, which is a fraction of Freemasons. 322, the Skull and Bones. And in the gematria, skull and crossbones equals 223, which is 322 reversed. And what's also interesting is he's got 3 charges and faces over 22 years, the 322. And the date between the incident, which is July 12th, 2020, and the date in which Tory Lanez got found guilty is exactly 2 years and 23 weeks, which is 223, 322 reversed. So there's also number links there. Now let's go to the sixes, because there's a lot of 666 symbolism. The date between Tory Lanez's birthday and the date of this trial in which he got found guilty is 150 days, and that is 216,000 minutes and 3,600 hours. And when you knock off the zeros, which you do in gematria, 216 is the sixth cube number, and that means 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And then 36 is important because the 36 triangular number is 666. So there's 666 symbolism within the date between Tory Lanez's birthday and the trial date. Then the date of which he got found guilty between his next birthday is 216 days. So that's also interesting, because 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. The date he got found guilty and also the date in which he will be getting sentenced, which is the 27th of January, is 36 days. And the 36 triangular number is 666. So that's also interesting. Tory Lanez allegedly shot at Megan 5 times, and 5 equals 66. He shot at her feet, and feet in its ciphers ordinal is 36, and as I showed, the 36 triangle number is 666, and the reduction 18, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6, again 18, and in the Sumerian gematria 216 is what feet equals, and 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. So a lot of 666 symbolism within this trial. This is all ritualistic, this is all occult symbolism, hence the 666 references in a lot of these cases. It's too perfect to have all of these references to 666. Too perfect. And then even the date equals 66, and then you got the 55, which I'll explain why that's important later. But even the date equals 66. Now moving on, 7-2 or 2-7 reverse is also important numbers within this trial, within this scripted event, because Megan Thee Stallion in the reduction cipher equals 72. She was shot by Tory Lanez allegedly, which equals 72. She was shot at her feet allegedly, which equals 72. This happened in Hollywood Hills, which equals 72, and ritual is 27, which is 7-2 reversed. So a lot of 7-2s and 2-7s. And then Tory Lanez's birthday is on July 27th, so again 2-7. His sentencing will be on January 27th, so again 2-7. And how old is Meg Thee Stallion during this time or during this event? 27 years old, 2-7. This can't be all coincidence. This is too much numbers to just all be his birthday's on the 27th. This happened while she was 27 years old. The sentencing's on the 27th. Meg Thee Stallion shot by Tory Lanez equals 7-2, 2-7 reversed. Ritual, which this is a ritual, equals 2-7. And it's not finished there, because Jay-Z, who is heavily involved with this ritual, also has a link, because Tory Lanez's father even said that he was responsible for this verdict, because obviously Megan Thee Stallion is signed to Roc Nation, owned by Jay-Z, and allegedly that the label was helping her with getting Tory Lanez prosecuted. So this is why Tory Lanez's father was angry at Jay-Z. As you can see, it says, rapper Tory Lanez's father has blamed Jay-Z for his son's being convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot because he signed Megan to his label in June this year. And Jay-Z's birthday, which is December the 4th, leaves 27 days left of the year. So he's even heavily involved with this ritual. And we're not finished there with him, because there's also a lot of 4-4 symbolism. Quite a lot of 4-4 symbolism, because Tory Lanez equals 4-4 in gematria and reverse reduction, and shooting equals 4-4. 44 in the reduction. Also, the date between Meg Thee Stallion's birthday and the date of the trial was 44 weeks and 4 days, so 444. And if you remember, Jay-Z has an album called 444, and you can see him there with the 444 album in front of the brick wall, because that's what the Masons like to do. They like to take pictures in front of the brick wall, because the brick wall symbolizes Mason, which means builder. So this is again symbolism. Also, 444 is Lucifer in Sumerian gematria, occult and Masonic. In Satanic gematria, Hollywood equals 444, where this event took place, Hollywood Hills. Hollywood. So there's a lot of 444 symbolism. Rapper also equals 444 in Sumerian gematria, and the color purple equals 444 in reverse Sumerian cipher. And the color purple is important because this is the color that Megan Thee Stallion wore during the time in which Tory Lanez got found guilty. She was wearing purple, and Beyonce, who was Jay-Z's wife, in her album called 4, was also wearing the color purple, and that color is important within the occult because they like this color. The purple symbolizes royalty. Purple also symbolizes illusions, as that's what they do to the masses. They give them illusions to follow and believe, like this is an illusion, this is fake. So purple is a color they like to use a lot. Even the Queen of England used to wear purple quite a lot. So purple is an important color within the occult symbolism, within their rituals. In fact, it's silent coding for their rituals. Now, another reason why the purple was very, very significant is because of the movie called The Color Purple, which is interesting because if you don't know the movie called The Color Purple, it's a movie in which a black woman is facing struggle for empowerment. The movie, as you can see, it says a feminist work about an abused and uneducated African American woman's struggle for empowerment. So the movie is about a woman that's being abused and facing all sorts of torture and adversity from, I believe, her father or stepfather, one of the two. And yeah, so it's very fitting that Meg Thee Stallion wears purple, which has its links to purple in terms of occult symbolism, but also because of the movie called The Color Purple. That movie is literally about a black woman fighting for empowerment, and she's facing abuse. And in this story, Tory Lanez allegedly caused abuse to Meg Thee Stallion through allegedly shooting her. So it's very fitting that she wears the color purple. All these things they do is purposely done. It's not done for no reason. So moving on, there's also a lot of 8-8 symbolism, or 8 symbolism. The date in which Tory Lanez got found guilty, 23rd equals 88. His name, Daystar, equals 88. Rapper equals 88, purple equals 88, and feminism equals 88. And Daystar Peterson, which is his name, first and last name, equals 88. And the 23rd of December leaves 8 days remaining of the year. There's a lot of 88 symbolism as well. And as you can see, you got Meg Thee Stallion with her current partner, Party, or yeah, I think, yeah, that's his, I don't know his real name, but yeah, Party. And he's got the tattoo there with the 8, which says feminist, as feminism equals 88. And that's also interesting. Side note, that post was made 66 days before the date Tory Lanez got found guilty. But yeah, you got him there with the 8 under the feminist tattoo, which is interesting because I'm sure you know Meg Thee Stallion is probably one of the main faces when it comes to not just female empowerment, but the whole narrative of the strong black woman, the strong independent black woman. And again, it's pushing an agenda which is actually doing more harm than good, although a lot of people might not want to hear it, but it's doing more harm than good because it's forcing a lot more separation between the black man and the black woman, and she's one of the pushers of that. And she blatantly doesn't have the best of intentions for black people as a whole, because she's an avid supporter of Black Lives Matter and the alphabet community, because she attended the Pride events and she attended the Pride and Black Lives Matter events. And Black Lives Matter doesn't support the union of the family, it actually supports everything but the black man. And if it's meant to be Black Lives Matter, shouldn't you be supporting all black people? And they don't. So this whole movement that's being pushed by them, that she's like probably the face of, is not doing black people as a whole any justice. It's actually doing more harm than good, this whole strong independent black woman type movement. Now, female empowerment is fine, but when it's at the cost of the greater good of your race, in the sense of being by yourself and not being with a man, that's when problems start to arise. I would never advocate for black males to leave black women alone and do your own thing and whatever. Like, I wouldn't advocate for that, because that just means separation, and separation isn't what's gonna bring people forward. Unity is what's gonna bring people forward. But yeah, anyways, moving on, there's more numbers. The 74 was also very important within this ritual, because rapper equals 74 and purple equals 74, and I explained why the purple was important. Justice for Meg equals 74. Daystar equals 47, 74 reversed. And feminism equals 47, 74 reversed. The date between Tory Lanez getting found guilty and Tory Lanez's next birthday is exactly 7 months and 4 days. So 7-4 again. And Lucifer equals 7-4, Occult equals 7-4, Masonic equals 7-4. It's interesting that Lucifer 7-4 with Daystar 4-7 reversed, because the name Daystar literally means Lucifer, because Daystar is basically the morning star. And, you know, in biblical text, Lucifer was the morning star. So it's very interesting that Lucifer in Gematria has a lot of links to Tory Lanez' name, Daystar, which really means Lucifer, because Lucifer was the morning star. So there's even more links between Tory and Megan and the numbers, because Megan Thee Stallion's birthday is the 46th day of the year, and Tory Lanez in Gematria equals 46. Megan Pete, which is Megan Thee Stallion's first and last name, equals 157 in Gematria, and Tory Lanez' birthday, July 27th, leaves 157 days in the year, so there's a link there. 157 is the 37th prime number, and if you add Tory Lanez' full date of birth, altogether it equals 37. Megan's full name, Megan Jovan Ruth P, equals 257 in Gematria reverse, and 257 is the 55th prime number, and found guilty equals 55, and 23rd of December in Gematria equals 55. This is what I was referring to earlier of why the 55 is important. Also, between the date of which Tory Lanez got found guilty and Meg Thee Stallion's next birthday is 55 days. So that's interesting. And then the date between Meg Thee Stallion's birthday this year and the date of when Tory Lanez got found guilty is 10 months and 9 days, so 109. And Rock Nation equals 109, shooting equals 109, and Los Angeles equals 109, where the incident took place. You also got LANEZ that equals 77, and the sum of the date, so 23rd, 12, 20 plus 22 equals 77. What's also interesting is one of the other suspects in which there's controversy that people are saying that was the person that shot at Meg Thee Stallion, which was Kelsey. She also shares 3 numbers in the Gematria with Tory Lanez, being the 77 again, the 58 or 85 reversed, and the 23. So it's interesting that the 2 prime suspects share 3 numbers within their Gematrias. How coincidental could that be? And yeah, going back to the whole Lucifer and Daystar thing, it's really interesting because Daystar literally means Lucifer, because Lucifer was the morning star, and Daystar, the star coming in the day, would be symbolic to Lucifer, and Lucifer shares Gematria with Tory Lanez and this incident. And it's interesting because when you think about it, they like to reference biblical texts as well within their scripted events. They like to do things backwards. So when you think about it, this is almost a symbolic ritual as well, as Meg Thee Stallion is the victim in this situation, and Tory Lanez, who is symbolic to Lucifer in this situation, is being found guilty. So now, just like Lucifer will burn in hell, figuratively speaking, by going to jail for what he's done. So it's almost like Tory Lanez is playing the role of Lucifer, betraying the people he's associated with, or the people in the occult, and there's justice now for Meg, who is pushing the agenda that these guys want to push, or these guys have been pushing. But because they like to do stuff backwards, it's almost like a reverse, because Meg Thee Stallion is pushing an agenda that's not actually beneficial for the people, and then now by winning this case, it's almost like a victory for that agenda, if you know what I mean. So it's almost like they're using a fake Lucifer, being Tory Lanez, being a symbol of betrayal against the real Lucifer, which is the people that are behind this agenda or behind this ritual, as this is like a victory for the people that run the occult, that are pushing these agendas. Because when you think about it, by Megan winning this case, this will only push the whole idea of strong independent black women a lot more. Not to mention, this happened during winter solstice, which is also very important. Now, it doesn't really matter who would have won the trial, whether Tory Lanez was found guilty or not, because as I said earlier at the beginning of this video, they're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. No matter what happens or no matter how it plays out, it's causing division on both sides anyway. It's just making black men more pissed off with black women and making black women more pissed off with black men. If Tory Lanez got found innocent, then you'd have a lot of black women being upset and saying no justice for women, we're not being protected, blah blah blah. And then, do you know what I mean, men saying yeah, like being all happy at the expense of black women or whatever. And then obviously vice versa, which was what happened. Tory Lanez getting found guilty, black women being happy, like an achievement, like yeah, like boost the whole being strong and independent. Yeah, if you're strong and independent, look what you can do. Like, look, she was strong and independent, and look, she won her case, and black men are trash. Either way, no matter which way this event would have went, it still does damage to both sides. Literally, it does damage to both sides, because it's gonna boost one side's ego and boost bitterness in the other side. So if Tory Lanez got found innocent, it would have boosted black men's ego and made black women feel bitter, and Megan Thee Stallion winning, it boosts black women's ego and make black men better. So it didn't even really matter which way it went, because even when I saw in comment sections of when this came out, like I see loads of people arguing, feeling happy, like how do you feel, like as if it's their family, like as if these guys are related to them, when you don't even, these guys are actors. I see people writing their lives away in the comments, using all their energy, and this is what all this is about. This is about gaining people's energy, and this is one of the perfect ways to gain people's energy, because this is fake. These guys are actors, but they just want to gain people's energy, so they have to make these fake storylines so people become very attached to these stories and very attached to the characters of these stories. And it's all fake. Like, they're just trying to manipulate and, you know, take people's energy, because without energy none of this stuff works. And then simultaneously pushing their agendas, in which, you know, the people enforce by, you know, supporting it. So yeah, man, I guess the main reason why I made this was to not only show that this is fake, but to show that if you are actually here believing this to be true and taking sides and whatever, you're just falling for the trap. You're making their plans work by, you know, being on a side of whatever side you're on, and you're falling for the trap, and you're pushing exactly the agenda they want you to push, no matter which side you pick. That's what they do as well. They control both sides. So no matter which side you pick, they run both sides. So you can pick a side, but they run both. That in itself is a psychological manipulation tactic. But, you know, I just want to stick on the video. And yeah, we'll leave it there. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do everything else you can do to support the video and the content. Goodbye.
This is some real deal Hollywood shit. But it's all good. Y'all just don't be fooled and don't be distracted. Don't be fooled, man. You know.